Right. Not dead, but anyway. First of all, congratulations, Christian, and your family. That's an awesome accomplishment. And I'll tell you, that 3.8 is very envious of most kids who go to high school. So most scholar athletes, so congratulations on that. That's really impressive. And congratulations to Tulane and the way you guys started off the year. I know the first game was a great one to watch. And without all the LSU fans jumping on me when I say this, you know, I did go to Alabama, so I was really rooting for you guys last year and last week. And to LSU, congratulations. I mean, there's nothing better in this state when everybody's playing good football. And congratulations to high school coaches as well. Really like good football, and you know, a lot of people used to say in the old days, you know, is it good if Tulane's doing well and the Saints are doing bad, or LSU's doing good, or we're doing good and they're doing? Hey, when we're winning, I'm telling you, if one of us is winning, it's great for football, and so we really do really celebrate what you guys are accomplishing. God, this is up to you guys. Do you want me to give a little bit of speech? Do you want to just open up for questions? I'll do whatever you guys want to do. I'll go real quick and just say a couple things, because I know Mrs. Benson was here last week, a wonderful owner, a wonderful boss, and she probably talked a lot about what I would probably typically talk about. But I will say this, one thing that wasn't on the sheet that he read, a little bit about my background, was that I worked for a company called Arthur Anderson. I don't know if you guys remember that company. It's no longer in existence, but when I came out of college, I went to work there, and first day on a job, they take you out to dinner, or lunch rather, the manager partner does, and we're sitting around a table about the size that we have here, and the managing partner said, do y'all have any questions at the end of lunch? And, you know, I just hated the silence, you know, and so I said, you know, I'll ask a question. So I said, so, you know, can you give me any career advice? I mean, I would, you know, in the back of my mind, I'd love to be a managing partner for a big accounting firm one day. Can you give me any advice? And he said, Dennis, let me give you great advice. He said, there will be ups and there will be downs. And he said, as long as you can stay even, you're going to be successful in life. Man, was he right. I mean, look at last night. I mean, there was, you know, we thought we were walking out of there with a win. 2 passes later, we're down. A couple passes later, we're back up. So that has really been, though, what we've kind of done here. I mean, if you go back to 2017, even 2018, I mean, you look at the no call last year, which I hate talking about, the Minnesota Miracle, which happened the year before, basketball team, ups and downs there. You know, we finally make it to the playoffs, and then we have a horrible year the next year. And I guess what I'd like to talk to our staff about all the time is that, look, there are going to be ups and downs, but if your core is right, and you have, you know, a strong core, and your principles are right, and you're doing everything the right way, then you can make it through these ups and downs, and you're back up again. And we've been very lucky. We've been very successful, both on the basketball front and on the football front, as well as our other things we're doing in the community. You know, we talk about some of the things that we've done. I mean, you know, I always talk about, you know, being #1 in fan experience. And, you know, that's really big for us. And, you know, the renovations we're making at the Superdome, and the investment we're making in a long-term lease extension, and what we're trying to do in the community and everything else. I mean, those are really our core values. And we talk about, you know, you hear everybody talk about best practices. You know, everybody wants to have best practices. The one good thing, if you look at the metrics, and you guys should be proud, this is your team. I'm just a employee and caretaker, but the Saints are your team. It's your community team. And, you know, we really, you know, when we stack up against other organizations throughout the NFL, and now even the M.B.A, I mean, you'd be proud. I mean, our stats are really up there. We don't really take second from anybody. And part of that is, that's the way we feel. I mean, everybody talks about Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, Chicago, Los Angeles. We're a small market this, we're a small market that. And to be quite honest with you, I mean, we don't look at it that way. That gives us a chip on our shoulder, and we want to kick butt more, to be honest with you. You know, I'm really not supposed to say anything, particularly with a camera right there, about how much I dislike Atlanta and how much I dislike Houston. But look, I love it when we kick their butts on the field, when we kick their butts off the field. I mean, that gives us so much pride, and that's what the city's all about, is the pride we take when the underdog kind of stands up and gets noticed and puts their chest out there and basically says, I'm not going to back down from any challenge. And so, you know, that's the way we take tremendous pride in the city. We take tremendous pride in our teams, and hopefully you'll see that reflected. You'll see that reflected on the field, on the football field and on the court. Real quickly, I'll just say, one other personal thing, and then I'll open it for questions. Another thing we talk to our staff, we talk to our staff a lot about. Now, I was mentioned about best practices. Everybody expects best practices. We want superior practices. So, we start at best, and then how can we kind of move away from the pack? And some people think, in a small market, you must be mad because this is the way you look at things. But there was many hundred years ago, there was this, and you might have seen a picture of it. It's a remarkable picture. It's a cathedral in Turkey. It's called Hagia Sophia. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a gigantic white structure. And for 1,000 years, it was the largest cathedral in the world for 1,000 years. And then this cathedral in Seville was built, Seville, Spain. And I happened to see this when I was on vacation there, and I think about it all the time. And they said, it actually, Seville, a small town at the time, built this gigantic cathedral, and the folks at the church said, let us build a church so beautiful and so grand that those who see it in the future will take us for being mad. And, they dreamt it, they communicated and believed in themselves that they could do it, and they executed it. And, Superdome is 50 years old, about to be 50 years old, and you go back and you read about the Superdome and getting this team here in the city, no one believed that we could have a team here and we could be successful and we could build a Superdome. But there were a bunch of people who were mad enough to say, let's build a Superdome. And McKiffin did it, and all the founders, and everybody bought in, and his community bought in, and now we're looking 50 years back at the remarkable building that we now play in. We're able to extend its life even further. And it all was because we all believed that we could do something unbelievable. And we have the best building, in my opinion, in the league. And we have the best teams, I believe, in the league. And we have the best community, I believe, in the league. And I'm not just saying that, we have the best fans that we have in the league. And so I appreciate everything you guys do. I appreciate you guys coming out here on a Tuesday and talking about football and talking about the Saints and going into games and watching it. Highest attendance rates, highest viewership rates in the entire city. I really sincerely thank you for all that. And so with that, I'll open up any questions if you have any. Yes, ma'am.
This is a Pelican question.
Sure.
We've had #1 draft choices with CP3 and Anthony Davis, and they wanted to leave after a few years. We now have an opportunity with a #1 draft choice. What are we going to do different to keep him here and keep him happy?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I can't speak for CP3 because I wasn't here when CP3 was here. I was here, however, when Anthony Davis was here. And I got to tell you, I think we have a much different organization than we had 3 or 4 years ago. We have an organization that really is committed to winning. We have an organization who is committed to committing the resources that are necessary to win. And we have an organization that is really, I think, committed to some principles that perhaps we were not as committed before. I mean, in order to win in basketball, football, whatever we do, talent acquisition is gigantic. Sports science is gigantic. Talent retention is gigantic. All the other type of operational things we do on the basketball side. But one of the biggest parts of that is really kind of the HR piece, the human resource piece, about wanting a player and making sure the player knows that you're fully invested in them and you're fully invested in the community. And I will tell you, if you have an opportunity to meet Zion Williamson and his family, I think you will very quickly see that this family and this guy is very committed already to New Orleans. He's already been in the football games. You've seen him in high school football games. You've seen him in college football games. I think he's been in the Tulane game. I think he's been in the LSU game. He understands something that we said early on to him, and you heard this resonate throughout the city because a lot of people were saying this, and he's bought into it, as well as all of our draft picks. This city wants to love you, and it will love you back harder than you love it. And he understands that, and I will tell you, he's given this city a chance, and we have really embraced him as an organization. We've really embraced him as a community. It will not be because money. I mean, we will in the M.B.A. we'll give him the max amount of money. Obviously, if we get to that point, he's a free agent at that point, or any other player. It will not be because of a money issue. We will obviously always, invest the resources that we have to. So it's going to be everything else that I discussed. Yes, sir.
Hey Dennis, y'all talked about the renovations that are going to be coming to the dome. And
Yes, sir.
y'all been saying some renovations are going to come to the arena. Can you talk about what kind of renovations to the arena?
Yeah. I have to be honest with you, don't know yet. We really haven't done much of the study has been focused on the Superdome and not the arena. The arena went through a renovation a minor renovation a couple years ago. But there are some things that we have to do. You know, the beauty of the Superdome is that it's 2 million square feet under the roof. And so you can really move parts around in the Superdome and really do some interesting things. In the arena, you know, you don't have that space. It's a tighter fit, and so it's a little bit more challenging in what you can do. You know, I'm going to say this, please, I'm begging you, do not take this as I want a new arena. That's not what I'm saying. No, what I'm saying is it's a little bit more challenging in that arena than it is in the Superdome. And if you look at the capacity of the arena is not as great as your typical M.B.A. Arena. Now look, up until this point, it served us very well, but that process is going to begin very shortly. We're absolutely as committed to the state, to the city with the basketball team as we are with the football team. It's just that we did the Saints first.
So we're trying to look to see if we can add more seats to the arena?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't know if you can, to be perfectly honest with you. We'd have to look at that and see what we can do.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
Is there anything we could do about these officials and any kind of retaliation? I mean, they have to be accountable. You're a CPA.
Yeah.
You got to be accountable for something.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew almost looked like at the end of the first half he was about to get thrown out of the game by the ref getting in his face.
Yeah.
There's got to be some kind of. I don't know. What do you?
Well, because if we would have lost that game last night, there would have been a lot of upset people.
You know, the only thing I can tell you is I'm as more frustrated than you are and more animated than you are. And I'm biting my tongue a little bit because I'll get fined if I say anything. But I certainly do appreciate your perspective. And we talked about this to some folks that were here earlier. Obviously, you know, officiating is absolutely key to the integrity of this game, as it is with any other sport. And so integrity of the game is the number one thing that a league and the teams who participate must uphold. And we have to get it fixed. That's what I'll say.
Well, because it's a twofold thing. I know we only had one